And we start off with the Fox News alert. America's role on the world stage, taking center stage today. Hello, everybody. Great to see you. I'm Jenna Lee.
And I'm John Scott. President Obama making a commencement speech at West Point, where he's outlining a foreign policy vision for the rest of his second term, hitting back against critics who charge that his approach is too passive. Joining us now, Karl Rove, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff to President George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor. Karl, what have you heard that is new?
Nothing. President Obama's speech today is going to further disappoint our allies. They're shaking their heads in capitals all around the world, and it is going to embolden our adversaries. Putin is sitting in the Kremlin laughing. Think about this. The president went out there and said, as a sign of success, that we have removed troops from Iraq. And our allies in the Middle East are saying to themselves, the Iraqis wanted to stay behind force. We wanted you to stay there, the Israelis and the Saudis both. And instead you pulled out. And as a result, Iraq is falling back into conflict, is being unduly influenced by Iran. Do we think that if there were U.S. troops still in Iraq, that the Iranians would be flying over Iraq in order to resupply the Syrian dictator? And then he said, Ukraine is a success. It's a sign of, quote, American leadership and American strength. Can you imagine what Putin's thinking about that in the Kremlin today? He's taken Crimea. He has troops massed on the Ukrainian border in order to influence the country. He has special Russian Spetsnaz troops inside Ukraine in order to foment dissent in the east. He has embarrassed the United States, embarrassed NATO, and trying to reassert the Soviet empire. And the president says this is a sign of American success. And the speech was not anything new. It is what we've said before, put together with nice packaging and with a few new straw men. And it has done nothing to advance the strategic interests of the United States.
He talked about the difference in opinions between what he called self-described realists who say that conflicts in Syria or Ukraine or the Central African Republic are not ours to solve. And then he talked about interventionists who said America's failure to act in the face of Syrian brutality or Russian provocation not only violates our conscience but invites escalating aggression. He said that he doesn't believe either one of those approaches is directly correct. And I guess he's advocating taking some kind of a middle ground.
Yeah, this is a false choice. This is a straw man. I don't know of a significant realist who says, as the president implied, that we don't need to ever get involved. And I don't know of an internationalist, a serious internationalist, who says we always need to deploy the U.S. military. It's a question of when it's appropriate and when it's necessary. Even President Obama had an argument with himself in that speech. Today he indicated that it was time to take action in Syria. Nearly 3 years ago, over 3 years ago, he said if the Syrians did the following thing, it was a red line for the United States and Assad must go. And 3 years later, Assad is still there after they have violated the president's own red line. Now he says, vaguely, we're going to take some new action in Syria. But the president today engaged in straw men and tossed them out there every few moments. At another point in his speech, he implied that there were people who believed that the only thing that America should ever do, its prime response in every instance, was to respond with the military. I don't know of a serious leader who believes that. The serious leaders believe in using diplomatic power, economic power, soft power, military power if need be. But I don't know of anybody who says the answer in each and every instance, as the president himself said today, is to use military power. Let me give you one other thing that just blew me away. Here we have Iran. The president said we're on the verge of getting something that we've never been able to get, implying an end to the Iranian nuclear program. I don't know what world he's living in. I don't know what plane of existence he's living in. The Iranian supreme leader responded to the recent negotiations by saying our object is to destroy America. We will never give up our nuclear program. Maybe the president's an optimist. Maybe he thinks there's a pony underneath that pile of manure. But the Iranian situation is not on the verge of being resolved. It is in intractable negotiations that are going nowhere.